Hello, everybody, and welcome to Perspectives. I'm Sam Jones. The Marine Corps is celebrating 250 years this year, and Keith Wiesman is here to talk with us about it. And I got it right. You noticed that, Keith?
Yes, sir, I sure did. Thank you very much for that.
What are you guys going to do to celebrate? Big candle?
Well, big birthday cake for sure.
I'll bet.
That's one of the biggest traditions of the Marine Corps birthday ball.
Yeah.
Is the large birthday cake. And the part of the cake celebration really is, the significance of it is taking the oldest Marine that we have in attendance at the ball and the youngest Marine that's at the ball and bring them up for the first slice of cake. The first slice will go to the oldest Marine, which if he's able to make it, we actually have an Iwo Jima vet that will be there.
No
he's
kidding.
103 years old, was in the second wave of the landing in Iwo Jima. And he will be there to get the first piece, and then once he takes his piece and hands it off, we'll figure out, it's probably going to be one of the reservists that are there stationed in Broken Arrow at the Armed Forces Reserve Center. We'll get it handed to him, but that's basically signifying handing down the tradition from the older Marines to the younger Marines to have them continue that tradition on.
Wow, and folks at home may not know about this, but there's an old saying, once a Marine, always a Marine. Am I right?
You're exactly right. There's no getting away from it. Once you've gone through boot camp and you graduate and they start calling you other than other names, they start calling you a Marine from then you're in the Marine Corps and you're doing your time and you're always referring to the Marine Corps as being your home or what you're part of.
Yeah, a lot of parents didn't understand that.
And I get that.
Yeah.
It's something that's that gets ingrained to you, and of course that's part of what boot camp is tearing you down and building you back up to being the type of military person that the Marine Corps is looking for. And like once that gets ingrained into you, it's hard to get it out.
Yeah.
You might mellow out as you get older, kind of like most of us have. I know I have, but it still sticks with you.
What is the saying? If you absolutely positively want to get something done, call a Marine.
Absolutely. Yep. It's basically, the Marine Corps is not like it's different from a lot of other branches only because there's a certain mindset there.
It's a smaller branch too, isn't it?
Much smaller. Yes. It's only, I think it's 1/10 of 1% of the population has been through the Marine Corps at any one time. Mm-hmm. There's only I think 3 divisions, at this point. I mean, it is definitely the smallest. And of course, it's a department of the Navy. We hate to bring that up, but we are a department of the Navy. And it's very specialized as far as what the Marine Corps is trained to do. Let's
talk about the celebration itself.
Okay.
I'm assuming the ball is going to be a blowout.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've actually rented the Renaissance Hotel and Convention Center over in Tulsa, there at 71st and Highway 169, basically for the space. Last year we had it downtown. There was 500 and something people there. This year we expect around 1,000. So that was the venue that we picked to be able to hold that 1,000 people. And if we do get a little bit bigger than that, we can expand it out to 1,500 if need be.
I need to point out to you folks at home, if you're thinking about crashing this party, don't.
That would be a bad idea.
A bad move.
Bad move, yeah. And there's going to be extra security there this year. In the times as we've seen from yesterday, and of course with today being 9/11, security is always a concern. So there'll be a heightened sense of security there too.
Take us back a little bit. How did the Marine Corps get started?
Oh my goodness, you had to ask that question, didn't you?
I did.
You don't know the story?
No.
Okay, back in 1775. There were a bunch of guys that went to a tavern in Philadelphia named Ton Tavern. Probably had a few libations, who knows? And that's where the Marine Corps got started. They figured that they needed to have a Marine Corps. It started right there in Ton Tavern on November the 10th of 1775.
With a fist fight?
Well, there could have been. I wasn't there, but there could have been. They're actually rebuilding Ton Tavern. Ton Tavern they're rebuilding it, and they're hoping to open it for the Marine Corps birthday this year to be able to celebrate the 250th right there where it all started.
That's great. When the Marines there aren't any females in the ranks, are there?
In the Marine Corps?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
We do have?
Absolutely.
See, my bad.
As a matter of fact, I know when I was in boot camp, there was women Marines there as well. They were all housed separately they just recently started actually training male and female Marines together in boot camps. I haven't seen the results of that yet, but they just started really fully integrating women into boot camp and into the fleet as well. So yeah, there is another lady that'll be at our birthday ball. She was there last year, who was one of the first Marines to sign up back in the 40s. And originally women Marines were brought into the service to do driving, clerical work, things like that, to free the men up to be able to go out and be in the combat roles and stuff like that. Over the years since then, that has transitioned into where we have female pilots, we have female.
Oh yeah, you hear a lot about them.
Oh yeah, they're basically in every MOS, military occupational specialty, that the Marine Corps has.
Who's the guest of honor?
The guest of honor this year his name is Major General John H. Admire. He's actually a Tulsa native that still lives here in Northeast Oklahoma. Highly decorated, throughout the Vietnam War, was the commanding officer of the 1st Marine Division there at Camp Pendleton.
Wow.
At his last assignment station. But he's been gracious enough to accept our invitation to come be our guest of honor, and we're looking forward to hearing him speak.
I have heard it said, now I don't know if this is legend or not, but I have heard that the Marine Corps is one branch of the military where when your time's up, you can either walk or re-up, and the majority of the people want to re-up, and they're pretty pronounced about it. They're pretty, we're staying in.
It's amazing with the retention rate, and honestly, it's been going up year over year, especially here recently. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of like one of that thing that sometimes you get into an organization, and at first it's tough. You're getting through boot camp, you're getting out into the field, and you're working your military occupational specialty and doing your duty, and before you know it, it becomes a lifestyle. So it's you're either staying in and doing your 20 or 30 years, and making it a career, or you're just doing your time. And then, of course, a lot of people, they will rotate out and go into the reserve. You can also serve in the reserve. And
I also understand that, make no mistake, once you're out of the Marine Corps, you're still a Marine.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's you can't get it out of your system. It's one of those things that it's almost like a light switch. When things happen, there are certain things, people have trigger terms and things like that, mm-hmm. that they work with. With the Marine Corps, once you've been in and you have that training, it's a part of you, and it's something that you can't get rid of, and most people don't want to get rid of.
We've got about 30 seconds. Keith, I'd like to put you on notice. If you would help us with this, we would love to have your special guest that's coming to this gathering on this show sometime.
Oh, that'd be great. I'm sure he's very gracious. I've only spoken with him on the phone so far. I'm looking forward to meeting him in person, but I'd be glad to put that invitation out there, and I'm sure he would accept.
As a Marine, he doesn't need a warning, but you might tell him I'm going to be calling.
I will certainly do it, sir.
Thank you, my friend.
Hey, it's my pleasure.
Appreciate all you've done and all you will do.
Well, it's just I'm glad to be part of the Marine Corps and proud to be an American.
I'd hang in there.
Right, we'll do, sir.
Short break. We're going to be right back right after this. And we're back. David Goldenberg is the CEO of the Museum of Tulsa History. Got that right, didn't we?
You did. Good.
Which has a new group of Hall of Fame inductees coming in.
Yes, we do.
Boy, you guys have been busy.
Oh, it's hard to believe it was a year ago we were sitting here talking about the last grouping, and it feels like 5 days have gone by because everything's just been a rush of a year.
Well, do you mind if I read through them?
Sure.
And we'll talk a little bit about each one,
Sure.
if you don't mind.
Oh, no. Happy to.
The first inductees include Marcello Angelini, who's an artistic director of the Tulsa Ballet.
Yes.
I know him. He's been on this show.
Oh, good.
And boy, is this a deserved choice.
Oh, 30 years as the artistic director. He is, first of all, he was an accomplished dancer. Then he became an accomplished choreographer, then an award-winning choreographer, and then national tour and American tour. His ability to raise the profile of the Tulsa Ballet to an international phenomenon.
Yeah, exactly. Because there are folks, if you're in New York and you bring up his name, they're going to know it.
Oh, yeah. In fact, I saw him in New York.
Yeah, in the same token, if you're in France and you bring up his name, they're going to know it.
They know. Well, he's born in Naples and he studied in Kiev. And you know, in many ways, it is the true American story. He is an immigrant that found his niche, rose up, created excellence, and created something value added to the American story.
You know the thing I like about him?
What?
He's so bloody down to earth.
Oh, yes.
So down to earth.
And always happy.
And when he sits in this chair,
Yeah.
as he has done in the past,
Yeah.
and we start to talk, he'll all of a sudden veer off and say, yeah, I was making spaghetti the other night. Really?
Yeah.
Who does that?
Yes. Him.
Golly. Okay, well, I got to move on to the next one. We're going to run out of time. G.T. Bynum, 40th
Yes.
mayor of Tulsa, fourth member of his family
Yeah.
to hold that post.
You know, his great-great-grandfather was the second mayor of Tulsa. I mean, we're talking about before statehood. And it was his great-great-grandfather that said, Tulsa needs a school system. So there is a history here that is so deep and so important to Oklahoma that it's really wonderful. And you see it in the things he accomplished, the Zinc Lake, the Gathering Place, the changes with the Gilcrease Museum, his focus on the TED Talk, where he talked about we've got to look at, you know, not partisanship, but collaboration.
Exactly.
And he's been, you know, and beyond that, he is a history wonk. He loves history, so he and I get along amazingly well.
I'll tell you something, he's the kind of guy, if he could sit in that chair where you are right now,
Yeah.
I bet you he'd just take off on a story and I could go to sleep and
Yeah.
he'd be still going.
And he, you know, his relationship with Pope Leo. So, you know, both Cascia Hall, both in terms of Villanova, you know, he's got an in.
All right.
That's why I got to have him on the Hall of Fame, if only for an in with the Pope.
Jim and Manisa Crumbo Halsey.
Yes.
And these are friends of mine.
Oh, are they?
I've known these folks for a lot of years.
Yeah.
Jim, an agent for 29 country music Hall of Famers.
And 11 rock and roll Hall of Famers.
Exactly. That's where I was going. Do you mind?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
And then
I could interview you.
There it was. Let's do it. And then she is an artist, teacher, and daughter of artist Woody Crumbo.
Yes.
Woody, in his own right, walked the Hall of Fames so many different areas.
Yes.
My God, what an artist he was.
Yeah. The two of them are, first of all, absolutely delightful. But, you know, Jim is this star maker.
Yeah.
And
That's the name of his book, by the way.
yeah, I know. You know, and a phone call with him, he always calls me like at, you know, 7:55 in the morning, you know, before anyone gets on. And it is always a very upbeat conversation. He is absolutely a delight. And to work with him and to go visit him up in Independence, Kansas, where he's got this, you know, you can't call it a warehouse, but it is.
It may as well be.
Yeah, it's a old Sears building filled with a lifetime of memorabilia.
Tell you a story about
Yeah,
him.
please.
There was a time years ago when he had 5 people that he represented at the same time who were the main venues at 5 of the top clubs in Las Vegas. 5.
Isn't that amazing?
Unheard of.
Unheard of, right? You know, even now, you know, he's in his 90s, middle 90s, not even beginning 90s, but he says, oh, I've got the Oak Ridge Boys coming into Tulsa on October 30th.
Oaks.
the oaks, and he goes, oh, I want to bring them over to the museum on the 29th.
Pierce and Debbie Norton, President and CEO of One Oak.
Yep.
And she's an entrepreneur and retired surgical nurse
Yes.
who have given more to this city
Yes.
than most folks even realize.
You don't realize the time they've spent in terms of charity work, in terms of assistance to Tulsa Community College, assistance to the Tulsa Community Foundation, to the United Way. They are out there, but at the same time, he is building a powerhouse of a company that really drives energy in this state. And she, by his side, yes, but in her own right, she is, she's had this amazing time.
We can call them a dynamic duo.
Yeah, well, excellent metaphors.
We've got about a minute and a half. We got to get
Okay.
the last one in. Pat Woodrum, and everybody knows. And
Everybody
Pat.
knows Pat. She is terrific.
She's a darling.
And she started in the Tulsa City County Library, and then became executive director in '76. And, she was head of the Statewide Library Association. She was head of the American Library Association. Goes ahead, retires, does an awful job of retiring, like other people I know, and goes ahead and says, you know what Tulsa's missing is the largest botanical garden in the United States.
Yeah.
And she sets out to go
And
do
did
it.
it.
And she did, and got the right people around the table. And I find her to be an absolutely delightful person, but she has determination and drive and gets that job done.
You know what? I just realized you
Yeah.
and I share something.
Yeah.
We share a common bond. We know these people.
Yes, yeah.
And what a joy it's been.
It really has been a joy to know them.
When Jim calls the house, you got a minute? And I know what's coming.
Yeah, exactly.
You've done something else.
Oh yeah, there's nothing like a phone call from Jim.
Oh.
It is absolutely terrific.
I've always told him, I said, never call me before 10 o'clock because I work nights.
Oh right.
You know? Okay. Next morning, 9 o'clock, he calls.
Right, of course. Of course.
It's an I'm up, everybody's up.
Because he thought of something and he thought of you, and I got to get this off my chest and do it.
That's right.
Yeah, I love the man.
That's right. He's a good man. Listen, thank you for coming in.
My pleasure.
Appreciate you. Will you come back?
Absolutely.
Good. We'll talk some more.
Terrific.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Short break. We'll be back with more right after this. Maggie Regan is back to talk with us about some events happening at the Oxley Nature Center. Good to have you
Thank
again.
you. Thank you, Sam. It's good to
been
be
a
here.
while.
It has. It's been a couple years, I think.
A lot of things going on at the Nature Center.
There are a lot of things happening out
Are
there.
you directly responsible?
I can't take full credit,
But you'd
but
like to.
I take some credit. Yes, we do have a lot going on.
Well, let's get into some of it. I have my notes here. It says the big fall plant sale, October 4th.
That's right. That's right. That's in partnership with the Oklahoma Native Plant Network. There are a lot of native plant sales going on. It's kind of a hot thing to be happening in the last few years, and most of the ones in Tulsa happen in the spring. And so with fall being such a beneficial time to plant native plants, we thought that was kind of a missing in the Tulsa landscape, so to speak. So we'll have about 10 vendors out who are all local vendors, all cultivating all native plants, from common plants to kind of more rare species, will be for sale out there.
Could we talk just a minute about something you've tapped on before? and it has to do with the wide variety of plants found in Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. Because if you go to the northern border and travel to the south,
Oh yeah.
and then go from the east to the west, the variety is just off the chart.
I agree. Yeah, it sure is. It's kind of flies under the radar how actually diverse Oklahoma ecosystems are. We have so many different ecosystems here in Oklahoma, and here in green country, we're pretty lucky. But yeah, you're right. If you go to any other corner of the state, you're going to run into a whole different families of plants and wildlife.
Can you cite some examples for us? I don't want to put your feet to the fire, but I've seen them. I fly fish. I'm out, and my wife, who's in the studio with us today, goes along to make sure I don't get lost.
Important.
Both of us take advantage of what we see, to be there, to see the eagles fly, to watch all the different wildlife is such a treat.
Absolutely. At Oxley, we're kind of working on a prairie restoration project. So what's cool there is we're able to focus on kind of the big four native grasses and a lot of the forbs that are naturally occurring there too. So all those plants will be included in the plant sale, and we'll have some of the woody varieties on for sale also. And a lot of those, like the spice bush and the beautyberry, a lot of those that'll be for sale, and some Mexican plum, have actually been cultivated from seed that grows in Mohawk Park and Oxley. So it's really kind of full circle with a lot of that plant life that we're focusing on that's out there.
And it's also intriguing and important to know that a lot of the Indian folk who were here way before statehood would rely on a great many things that are grown here for different medicines.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And it worked.
It seems to have been very effective in a lot of ways. Yeah, they were using plants for medicines, for food, for baskets. There's so much going on here before the, Oxley Nature Center.
How'd you get involved?
At Oxley? Well, that's a good question. Let's see. I've been there for about 2.5 years as the nature programs manager. And before that, my background was in environmental education. So I was always working outdoors. I was always passionate about connecting people with nature and kind of fostering that relationship, because we have so much to gain from learning more about the natural world. So before Oxley, I worked at Tulsa Botanic Garden, actually, as the program and events director there, getting to do a lot of the educational programming, camps, and that kind of thing.
I've always found it charming when people come back from Oxley to find out that you're going to hear people say, I didn't know that was that way. I didn't know we had those. Who told us,
There's something to learn from almost every walk you can take out in nature, and that's really kind of what all of our programs at Oxley are kind of centered around, fostering that connection and that sense of discovery in people of every age, because there's so much to see if you just stop and take a look.
I'd like to know more about the name someday, because to have Robin Hood associated with it, Robin of Oxley, there is a connection.
Yeah.
I think it's intriguing to know that they picked on the name Oxley.
A lot to learn there. Yeah, for sure. Well, it was the initial donation, and the idea for a nature center was funded by John and Mary Kay Oxley. So that was kind of where the name came from at first. At first it was like Mohawk Nature Center Incorporated, and then after the Oxleys donated the money to really create an actual nature center, a hub, and to dedicate those 800 acres as a wildlife sanctuary, not to be developed in any way beyond just conserving what was there, then it became Oxley. So that was almost 50 years ago.
Time do pass, do it now.
It do.
Hey, thank you for coming in.
Of course.
We'll do this again.
Thank you for having me, Sam.
Anytime.
Appreciate
Love
it.
having you on.
Thank you.
We're all out of time. Thanks for being a part of it. We'll see you back here next time.